Hi, if you're new here, I'm Akira and this is my corner, and if you're not, then welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a storytime video, and a lot of people actually really enjoy my storytime videos, even though the two that I've done so far have been very intense in my opinion. In any case, the stories that I've shared so far for me were very heavy because they were kind of like stories that defined my character. So I thought that I'd change it up a little bit today and I'd give you a funny story, because there's a few funny things that have happened to me in my life and I don't think I can share all of them on YouTube, but this is one that I can definitely share. If you're not familiar with my storytime videos, I'm literally sitting in my pajamas on my bed and we're just gonna ignore like my camera bag in the background, you know, we're just gonna ignore it. But yeah, I basically just sit in my most comfortable environment. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday evening and I have a full face of makeup on for the sake of this video, and we're just gonna go with it. I'm sure you can tell by the title what I'm gonna be speaking about, but before I get into the story, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm just gonna get into the story about how I broke my leg. Let's take it back to about 20 years ago, where little old Akira was about 5 years old. It was actually like 21 years ago because I was turning 5, so I was actually 4 at the time. I think I was 4 at the time. I used to be obsessed with specific things on TV, so I never really loved watching TV all the time, but there were specific things that I loved watching. So my brother was super into like watching Michael Jackson, and you know, we used to have like cassettes. If you guys are like new age kids, you're not gonna know this, but we used to have like that cassette player, and that's how you used to watch like specific things like movies and like shows. Like if you wanted to watch a certain movie, you would have like a cassette of the movie and then you'd watch it in your cassette player. So my brother used to love Michael Jackson and I used to love Power Rangers. Like Power Rangers used to be, I kid you not, man, like there's nothing that I love more than Power Rangers in my life. Like I still have flashbacks to like how awesome Power Rangers was back in the day. Like they had so many different movies, and then when they became one Power Ranger, and then they were the big like machine, I even forgot what it was called, but they were, when they joined forces and then they became the big thing, and then they were just like going around and killing guys. Like that was the best time to be alive as a child. Like I used to lose my mind when they used to morph and they used to become one Power Ranger, and I used to just be like, oh my gosh, like you just know whatever's gonna happen, everyone else is gonna die because the Power Rangers were gonna win that fight. So little Akira used to love watching Power Rangers. Like that used to be my jam. Like every day I could watch Power Rangers, like every day of the week. Power Rangers could be on the TV and I would be there. So my cousin had this cassette of a Power Rangers movie and she borrowed it to us. I don't know if she borrowed it or she gave it to us, but either way, we had a cassette of like the Power Rangers movie situation. And I still remember that movie so clearly, man. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember what happened. Like, even though it was that long ago, like I still remember what happened. And like, I remember the bad guys were like these bird things, and like, it was so unrealistic, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I think about the graphics, I'm like, oh, it was really bad quality. But anyway, I used to love watching this movie that she gave us. I used to watch it on repeat like all the time, like all the time. And basically this one day my gran was doing something, I don't know, I think she was like in the kitchen and I was in our lounge, and she let me like watch, you know, Power Rangers, and I was like, I was in my element, watched the whole movie, and the movie ends and I'm like, okay, like this sucks. But if you have a cassette player, you know that you cannot leave the cassette inside the cassette player. Like, you know that you have to take it out or the cassette itself is gonna get tangled. So to save your cassette, you always have to take the cassette player out. No, the cassette out, the cassette player. You always have to do that. That's like cassettes 101. Like you always need to take it out, because I think like it automatically like rewinds it to the beginning and then it leaves it there. I don't know if it actually tangled any cassettes, but I remember like for the life of me, the fear was instilled in me that I needed to take the cassette player. Wow, I needed to take the cassette out the cassette player. So on this day, Akira decides she's gonna take the cassette out the cassette player. And we used to have like this TV set thing. You know when you have like a TV cut out and then you have like shelves all around it? So we had a bottom shelf, the TV, and then we had shelves on top of the TV, right? And basically the shelf that the cassette player was at the top shelf. Little Akira, who's half the size that I am now because I'm still very short, she needs to go get the cassette out the cassette player or the cassette is gonna get tangled. So with my shoes on, because if you did it without your shoes it was gonna be too slippery. With my shoes on, let me just tell you what shoes I was wearing. So if you're an Indian person, you'll know exactly what I mean. But I was wearing India sandals. Now if you if you know India sandals, you know that like there's no grip on those sandals. Those sandals are literally like the slipperiest things to exist. Like you rather not wear shoes if you want grip, because at least your feet have grip. The thing is literally just like, it's the smoothest surface that you'll actually touch on a shoe ever. So anyway, little Akira is wearing her India shoes and she decides to step on the bottom part, you know? So like I said, the bottom shelf is there, TV is here, cassette thing is at the top. So I'm stepping on this part, right? And I decide to reach for the cassette in the cassette player. And because I'm still short, like the distance is still quite long for me, like I'm still too short to do it, but my gran wasn't there and I had to take the cassette out the cassette player. So I reach for the cassette out the cassette player and as I'm reaching for the cassette out the cassette player, like as I'm taking it out, I start slipping. So here I am like standing there on the ledge and my feet literally start doing this. Like they literally are like going backwards. And you know when you can feel it, like you can feel you're gonna fall. I could feel that, like it was just slipping like slowly and slowly and slowly. And I was like, oh my god, I can't fall. Like I can't fall. I'm gonna get beaten if I fall. Like this is like, so many questions are going to be asked why I was doing that in the first place, like wearing my India sandals, like how am I going to defend myself? So I'm like I need to stop this. I need to stop this fall. The only way for me to stop this fall is to hold the TV, because you know the TVs aren't like they are now. The TVs then used to be like this big and like this wide. Like it used to be the entire space of the cupboard. That's how big the TVs used to be. So I decide I'm gonna hold the TV so that I cannot so that I cannot fall, because the TV is heavier than me. Like that was sound logic if you think about it. TV is definitely heavier than me. If I hold it, I'll just like be able to pull myself back and then like take the cassette out and get down. That was not how it ended. It was definitely not how it ended. I proceeded to slip all the way back and pull the TV with me, and the TV fell on my entire body as I fell. So little Akira is slipping off the ledge, pulling the TV with her, and she falls on the floor with the TV on her. That's what happened to me. And with that huge TV on me, I obviously start screaming because I thought I was gonna die. I straight up thought that this is how I go, because I had obviously never experienced such pain in my life, and that entire TV just fell on me and I could not take it off because it's a bloody damn heavy TV. And yeah, I was just screaming, and luckily my gran was right there, like she was in the kitchen. And then she got our neighbor to come and like help get the TV off, and then I don't remember the rest. I straight up don't remember how I got to hospital. I don't remember being like admitted. I don't remember anything. I just remember being in the hospital and I didn't want to eat the food. I was so upset. Like, I will actually never forget. Like, it was probably the most traumatic moment of my life because I was just so upset the whole time. I was like, I was just trying to do good things and like, why am I being punished for it? But yeah, basically I fractured my femur. I think it was like, I forgot how big the fracture or the break was. My mom knows, but I don't know. It was my right leg, so I only fractured or broke my right leg, and my left leg was fine. And yeah, I was in a cast for like literally until my hip for months. It was horrible. Like, it was the worst time of my life. And back at home in Durban, we have stairs in our house, and I couldn't walk up the stairs because obviously, like, I have a whole cast in my leg and I had to walk in crutches. And they eventually just put me in like a pram. They just put me in a baby pram because they were just like, no, this child is just gonna suffer. I'll never forget the day that they took the cast off. That for me was worse than breaking my leg. Like, I was crying. Like, I still remember, like, I could cry right now remembering the fear that I felt inside, because it's literally like they take a saw to cut it open, but the saw only is sharp enough to cut the cast, but it's literally like you literally hear that like saw noise, and like this person is cutting this cast off that's right next to your skin. And like, I was high-key convinced this person's gonna cut my leg off. Like, I didn't even, like, I was fighting that doctor. I was like, you're about to cut my leg off. Like, I will end you and everyone, even though I'm a 4-year-old. But like, he kept on putting it on my hand and being like, no, like, feel this blade. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna cut you. And I was just like, I don't care, fam. So like, I was so traumatized. Like, I eventually got the cast off and everything, and like, I just sometimes think to myself, like, what if I just never loved Power Rangers as much as I did? Like, would I have like an okay leg? I think this was the incident that like started the series of like unfortunate events of injuries in my life, because I honestly think that I am so prone to getting hurt, and I could start a whole series about like different injuries that I've had in my life, because I have the most ridiculous injuries from such weird things that people are always just like, how could that even possibly happen to you? But it's happened to me. That is it for my how I broke my femur story. I hope that you liked it. I hope you enjoyed the funnier side of my life stories and injuries. I was considering doing story times about like guys. If you are interested in that, please leave a comment down below, like the funny side of the boy story times, because I'm not sure if I could do those alone. I think I need to have my friends with me for that, because most of my stories are funny because they were involved or they experienced the worst side of the stories. So yeah, if you do want to see that, please let me know and I'll convince them to come so we can tell some stories to you guys. But yeah, that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Okay. I cannot speak English today. What the heck? Okay. Don't forget to subscribe if you